gremlins! Today's video is a bit different, inspired by several videos by the creator Prickly Alpaca. I'm turning a random, cool-looking image into a character, using colors, shapes, and vibes from that image. To find this image, I randomly generated nouns until I found one that seemed promising, then typed that noun into Pinterest and selected the first image that came up. In the future, if I do this again, I might change that method a bit. In this case, the noun I chose was keys, and I found this really cool image of 5 ornate, golden-looking skeleton keys. These keys look very fancy and historical, and I immediately had an image in my mind of the kind of character I could draw. I don't know what time period these keys are inspired by, but in my mind, this character is a high-class Victorian woman. I'm also basing her look off fashion I remember from throughout the Victorian era, and I didn't look up any references, so this might not be a historically accurate character. Think of her as historically inspired instead. I gave this elegant woman a bustle dress with a leg of mutton sleeved overcoat. She also has a top hat and cane. This design is vaguely steampunk, but more upper class than a steampunk outfit is normally designed. I really love the patterns on these keys, especially the one on the right. I ended up tracing the pattern of swirls and curlicules and using that as the applique on the overcoat. At first I just put this pattern around the bottom of the coat, then got a bit carried away, adding more curlicues to the sleeves and neck of the coat. The coat is also trimmed in gold ribbon, at the hem and up the center front where the coat would be buttoned. The hands proved difficult to draw, as hands often do for me. I do not like drawing hands. In this drawing, her hands are resting on top of her cane. I redrew the hands several times, then had to pause my recording to imitate the pose myself and take a reference photo. The top hat also has key and curlicule motifs around the brim. I drew a key directly based on the second to the right key in the photo, and placed it at the front of the hat. The rest of the band is decorated with more brassy filigree. I think this woman would be an independent woman, wealthy and perhaps running a family business due to no male heirs. I don't want to brush over the fact that most women in history had their rights restricted, but I didn't want to make this character stuck as a wife, mother, and homemaker, nor stuck working in a dangerous factory for barely enough to live on. Due to the high-class nature of her clothing, her more masculine use of the top hat, and her connection to the steampunk aesthetic, I decided that she should own a business which makes keys and locks to tie back into the original inspiration. She's also a spinster, unmarried, and probably has a secret lover who everyone thinks is just a very close friend. To make the golden design stand out, I made the coat black, sampling the color of the shadows in the photograph of the keys. The top hat is a dark shade of brown, similar to the brown of this woman's dress. Her hair is also dark, and her skin the light brown color of the wood in the photograph. Against these, the shiny brassy gold stands out, bright and metallic. I shaded that filigree in a way to make it look reflective. I want that gold to be the highlight of the image, the first thing you notice. This is the first character I've drawn on the channel who is middle-aged. I added grey to her dark hair and some subtle creases in her face. She isn't old by any means, but she isn't in her 20s either. While this wasn't a conscious choice while I was drawing, I think her design and characterization is slightly inspired by Anne Lister's portrayal in the show Gentleman Jack. I finished this image with a very simple background. Since the coloration of this image is fairly monochrome, I didn't want the character to disappear into too complex of a background, so I just drew a simple wooden floor and stone brick wall. There isn't much more to say about this character. I had a lot of fun drawing her, and the idea of using one image to inspire a character was great, especially when I was dealing with some mild art block and lack of ideas. I will probably do this again, and I hope you all like this. Until next time, bye!